I think if you, I think a lot of people, I've met a lot of people younger than me that, and this isn't probably an age thing, that they're looking for their identity in the next project that they're working on. They're trying to figure out who they are in the next project.
Yeah.
There's a lot of freedom in pursuing whatever life, career, trajectory you're going down if you do know who you are. Once you figure that out and you're not searching for that, then that kind of goes back to my thought about there's really no mistakes then at that point. There's just only experiences that are learned from. And I know I'm not saying anything that is, I'm not reinventing the wheel here, but man, I definitely would encourage everyone who is interested in this podcast, artists, music artists, creative artists, or someone who has nothing to do with creativity on any level.
Yes, I agree.
When you are trying to carve out your place in the world, because we only get one go around.
That's right.
Once you know who you are, there is an immense amount of freedom in pursuing whatever that next thing is. Because you know who you are. It's you got to go down a trail a little bit to see if the trail is going to go deeper or if you're going to hit a dead end.
Don't you think it's? I can't help but hear people listening to this now, like, oh gosh, these guys are going off into La La Land or philosophy land, and I really feel like this isn't just for musicians. I love what you just said.
No.
It isn't just for somebody that wants to paint or sculpt or dance or act. It's for humans.
Right.
That doesn't mean every human is an artistic, creative, or that's
Not
your
at all.
expression. But every human has some kind of expression, some kind of gift. It could be administration. It could be execution. It could be starting a business, you know?
I think anyone who's willing to, this is a phrase that we use in our house a lot. If you're willing to push past the familiar to the rush of faith, then you're part of it.
David, I got to tell you, I discovered, as I say so much, I grew up listening to the radio at night and the transistor, my dad's transistor, and I would love, there was a lot of talk radio, there's a lot of personality radio in those days.
Yeah.
So when I first heard about podcasting, which was in the early 2000s, I remember it took me to a website called iPodder X. This was before Apple started their podcast, facilitation.
Right.
And I was instantly mesmerized.
You were.
Instantly. There were people doing interesting niches, But let me tell you something. Right before we started this podcast, I thought, man, I should have done that 10 years ago. I missed the boat. Of
course, yeah.
Because I knew about it. Lionel, why didn't you do it? You knew about it in 2003, but you didn't. You know what I mean? And now I'm so glad that I didn't rationalize this away. Well, you're late to the party. You missed but I think people can do that about whether it's starting a restaurant or.
Right.
I don't know. There's a million fill in the blanks of something that might be in your heart to want to do. I think the biggest mistake is to not mess around with that.